My MMA journey, I guess, started 4.5 years ago now. I was 25. I had spent a long time in doing equestrian sports. So since I was about 4, I'd spent years in horse racing, cross country, show jumping. I guess I was hitting like a quarter life crisis and said to myself, I want to change. So I dropped everything equestrian and wanted to do something new. How did I get about ending up becoming an MMA fighter? I guess I met a guy on Tinder, and he was a fighter, a genuine fighter now, not just trying to impress me or anything. I checked him out. He explained about Conor McGregor, about MMA, about John Kavanagh, about everything that was going on in Ireland at the moment. So I thought, yeah, absolutely right, I think I'd be good at this. So the more I listened to him, I thought, yeah, this is definitely sounds like it's for me. So a week or two later, I jumped into a gym and tried it out. Rolled with a bunch of Polish lads, thought I was class, and said to myself, yeah, I can definitely do this, and I can definitely be really good at this. So from there, I trained in that gym for 6 months. That brought me up to the summer of my graduation, so I just graduated as a physio. So my brother planned a trip away in celebration of graduating to America. So after doing my 6 months of martial arts back home, headed off to America, travelled around California and Toronto and seen a bit of the world with my brother. And we ended up in a Conor McGregor fight in Vegas, watching Conor versus Mendes. And it was there that the next day at the after party, at a pool party, I had a chance to meet John Kavanagh. So of course I ran up with a bunch of other screaming girls with my phone looking for a selfie, and I was under the influence at the time and had quite a few drinks in me, and I think he had a few drinks in him too probably. So I said to him I did MMA, that I wanted to be a fighter, and that I said I would be a fighter in his gym one day. And I guess in fairness to him, he was really nice and listened to me, humoured me, and said, keep working, keep doing what you're doing, and that was it. Got my selfie, got my likes on Facebook, and from there I decided, right, I'm not going to go home, I'm going to stay in Canada with my brother. So just threw haste to the wind, had nothing organised, just rang Mum and said, I'm not coming back to Ireland, I'm going to stay in Canada and I'm going to do more of this MMA business over here. I joined the gym and started learning how to wrestle, just kept getting better and better, and kept developing my skills. And I guess 7 months into living in Canada, I realised, okay, I've had enough of this now. Everything is back home. John Kavanagh's back home, SBG's back home. There's so many fighters coming out of that gym. Conor was obviously exploding, and I thought, what am I doing here in Canada? I need to be back home. And on top of that, I guess I was a bit homesick too and miss Mammy. So anyway, booked a flight, and on Christmas Eve that year, headed home. I couldn't settle at home at all over Christmas. All I could think about was SBG and MMA. So I think I was one of the first consultations into the gym in January. Signed up straight away and got myself a room about half an hour away from Dublin. So within a month I got a physio job in Dublin, and I just put my head down and started to grind the 2-3 sessions a day kind of business that everyone does at the start. It just took off for me. From there I got well known in SBG pretty quickly because I was always there. I didn't really do anything else, just train. From about 7 months in, John said to me, did I want to try out for the team? Or actually his fiancée Orla said, you seem to be doing really well, do you want to try out for the team? I said, yeah, absolutely. So sparred Sinead Kavanagh one evening in the gym. She was very nice to me, didn't try to kill me or anything. And John said to me and you will have many good days together. He said, I know we will. So I was delighted with myself and really excited, and the next day I was on the pro team. I guess John never heard the story about meeting me previously until the World Championships. About 2 years after me getting on the team, we were over in Bahrain at the IMAF World Championships, and it was the evening before the final. I'd won all my way through the week. it was then that my brother posted the story up on social media saying, you know, where I'd come from to here. And I guess a large part of the story was about mental health as well, because the time when I dropped out of the horses, I really wasn't happy, was struggling a lot with my mental health, was in a bit of a rush, and I guess MMA was my saving grace and really picked me up. Something like 2.5 years later, there we are, all in Bahrain, me, John Kavanagh, my partner Alan, my brother Alex, you know, some of the massive people in my life, all there ready for me to fight in World Championships in Bahrain. So I guess it was then when the story came out about meeting him previously, and he said I'm the only person that ever met him that told him that I was a fighter and I was going to go to his gym or I was going to be a fighter and move to his gym, that actually did it. Anyone else that's out there and that's thinking about it, just go and do it, because after all of that and everything I've experienced so far, I'm about to have my professional debut on Bellator in front of 13,000 people, which is just mad, crazy, but so exciting and such a massive life experience. I'm just really proud of myself and the whole journey and of everyone that's got me this far, really.